got a machete in your pocket, sir, or are you just happy to see me?
I'm just saying, why wouldn't you check the back seat?
I'm just not here for it.
I kind of enjoyed the axe to the face.
Ooh, hey there, Mr. Monster.
So, chill or kill.
Hello, all, and
Hello.
welcome back to another riveting episode of Netflix and Kill.
Yes, Netflix and Kill, the show where we sit our fat asses on the couch, watch a movie on Netflix, and let you know if it's worth watching or not. No.
Let you know how we feel about it.
Yeah.
Let you know what feelings it gives us, what we get from it, what we think you might get from it.
Yeah.
And what I have today is indigestion.
And the hiccups.
And the fucking hiccups. You guys?
She's got a lot going on today.
I do. I have a lot of feelings. Most of them have to do with my digestive tract.
Excellent.
So I'm Katie. This is Kenny. I feel like we never introduce ourselves.
Oh,
in other
wow.
podcasts
That's
too.
weird.
Yeah, I feel like we never do that. You know what I mean? Like other podcasts are like, hey, you're listening to whatever, and this is me, and this is this. And like they just give you more information, and what we give you is literally nothing. Like we give you the name, but we don't tell you who the fuck we are. So I'm Katie. That's Kenny.
Well, shit, don't say it like that. Damn, girl. I'm Katie. That's Kenny. That's him.
That's that.
That's him. No, yeah, so that's what we do. We watch Netflix horror movies, and, there's great ones. Netflix has a great selection of truly amazing horror.
They do. We're just not so great at seeking them out, I don't think.
No, the last one was not. We're not even going to go there.
We're not going to talk about it.
We're
just going to move forward. So what are we?
So-
what are we talking about this week?
So this week was my pick. It was Kenny's pick.
Kenny's pick.
Yes. So I saw the trailer to this movie on Facebook, I believe. I think I shared it to our Facebook group.
Yeah.
The trailer really got me.
Yeah.
It's called Cam. So Cam is a 2018 American psychological horror film directed by Daniel Goldhaber. Dan. That's what we're going to call him.
Hey, girl.
And written by Isa Mazzei. And interestingly enough, the story is partially drawn from Mazzei's own experience working as a cam girl.
Really? Okay. So that's why it was so good.
Yes.
That's why the writing was like very. I'm into it.
Was it relatable, Katie?
I related to many aspects of this film.
We'll get into that. But it was their first. It was their first feature film, which is amazing.
Wow, it was their first one.
It was their first feature film.
Wow.
Yeah, it premiered at the Fantasia International Film Festival on July 18th and was released in November of last year by Netflix. So it's been on Netflix for a few months now.
Okay.
And
So it's a Netflix original then.
Yes.
Cool.
No.
Or they bought it,
They bought
but Netflix is the
not a
only
Netflix
platform it was
original.
released on.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't released in theaters.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So it essentially centers around this girl whose name is Alice. She is a cam girl. She runs her own little cam business.
Yeah. Under the name Lola.
Under the name of Lola. And, she does her shows. She broadcasts her little she does kind of crazy shows where she does these like fake suicides almost.
Creative AF.
Like very creative.
I don't think she was doing that. Like in the beginning, I think you see her do her first. No, maybe she was just in different ways.
It just because
like you see her slit her throat as the first scene, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, it seems
like
like
that was
she's
maybe
built
going
like a
on.
reputation of being like
Maybe.
different.
Yeah.
Which if you've listened to our dark web episode can go very wrong.
That's a slippery slope, girl.
That is a very slippery slope. And it kind of makes you a little weird. It's like, why are these people getting off to her pretending to?
Yeah.
But who knows? I'm not a part of the cam world, so I can't tell you.
Well, I think it's a commentary. It's probably Isa Mazzei's commentary on the like consumerism of that type of environment.
Right.
Like that these guys are getting off on you taking your clothes off, whatever. But like you're just like a piece of meat. You're just something for them to watch. So like if you shoot yourself in the head or slit your throat, like that's just another sensationalist thing to get off on, you know? I think that was one of them their metaphors.
Yes. So, and as the story progresses, things take a turn and she finds herself locked out of her account, but the twist is that there is someone who looks exactly like her, talks exactly like her, who has taken over her as herself.
Who's broadcasting on the
broadcasting live as her.
Yeah.
And she finds herself locked out of her account. She can't get any sort of help from anybody. And it just sort of spirals downward from there. Well, I'm not going to say downward, but things go, sour from there for her. And that's sort of the whole plot is about her trying to figure out what this is, who may be doing it, and how to essentially get her account back.
Get control back.
Get
control back. Yeah, so I thought it was very good. I think it's very easy with a topic like this to trivialize it. Mm-hmm. And I did not feel in this that the cam girls were trivialized, which I respected and appreciated because, everybody out here getting their money and y'all know the Haunted Heart don't discriminate. Like, girl, if you want to cam girl it out, like, do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Will say, Katie concerned me a little bit because as we were talking about random things around, I was like making like commentary like, oh, what is this? And Katie's like, oh, well, that's this. And I'm like, oh, but how does this work? And she's like, oh, well, it works like this. And I'm like, and I just, at one point throughout the film, I just sort of pause and I look at her like, who are you? Is there something you would like to tell us, Katie?
I'm just going to say, I know my way around a sex shop, and that's it. So
the one thing that I really appreciated about this movie is I really enjoyed the characters in it. I actually really enjoyed her. I kind of went into it thinking that she would be the type of character that I wouldn't enjoy.
Right, like a dumb bimbo, right?
Right, that she would be.
It is so easy to do that because people like
cam
that.
Girl, so
right, cam
that's
girls
what you
get
expect.
stereotyped into being all kinds of like bullshit, and people who do porn are stereotyped into being like bimbos and stupid people and whatever, like just hot people who are dumb, but that's not the case. Like there are people who do porn and read fucking like Aristotle. Like you can be whatever you want to be. So I really appreciated that this movie kind of didn't go down that path.
Yes. So her character was very likable. She was very different in what she was, bringing to the table. She just seemed very like, she just seemed really cool. Mm-hmm. Somebody that you would know, right?
Yeah. A little obsessive, though, I will say.
Yeah.
Even in the beginning, she's a little obsessive. She's craving recognition and acknowledgement, I think, from the community. Because her whole thing is she's obsessed with the leaderboard. The particular site that she's on ranks the cam girls according to their popularity or whatever. And she wanted to get, her whole thing is that she wanted to get in the top 10. Like she wanted to be number 1.
Yes.
But like she couldn't figure out, like she was doing all of these things like these fake suicides and stuff to boost her numbers so that she would get to number 1. Like definitely I think top 10 was her mark that she was trying to hit. But so it just got crazier and crazier trying to hit that goal, and then all of a sudden she's locked out of her account, but someone who looks exactly like her is still broadcasting and is getting higher and higher marks. Is moving up in the leaderboard, and it's not her.
And that's sort of also a commentary on the cam world itself, according to the writer, Isa, who has experience in this, because that's what drew the inspiration for that, was some of her own videos being pirated and then marketed as, someone else.
Right.
Even though they were hers. And what she said about it was that she originally actually wanted to create a documentary series or a documentary about cam girls, but just felt that she decided that wasn't the right medium to tell the story that she wanted to tell.
Right.
So she felt she could do it in a better way through horror.
Well, there also is a documentary on cam girls because we watched it on Netflix. You remember?
Was that
what
Cam?
was that? It was. We can look it up and give you guys the details of it. It was definitely a documentary series, and I don't know if it was the whole series about cam girls, or if it was. No, it was like it wasn't Real Sex, but I'm old, so Real Sex is the thing that pops to mind. But it was. It was about sex, and it's on Netflix. It probably still is, but it was like different. Like, I think each episode was a different like documentary style look into something or another, and one of them was cam girls. You and I watched it together like a year or two ago.
Yeah,
we'll look it up and give you guys the details, but yeah, that also already existed. So
yeah, so no, I think that it was a great thing. An interesting point in the movie when she calls the cops after she sort of has had enough, and she's looking and calling out and reaching out for help, which I also think is another commentary on
how
those type of
cops
situations.
treat people who were quote unquote asking for it.
Yeah. So she calls cops in to like help her like figure out like, hey, this person is broadcasting live on my website, on my feed. This is live. I am not this person. As you can see, I'm here now. Please help me. Something is going on. And in a particular moment of the film, when she's talking with the cops, one of the cops asks her, what's the weirdest thing you've ever had to do? Like, sort of like opening the gates. That's like an opening question to like test the waters to see like if he can get some, essentially.
Well, then he went on to ask like if she ever met up with any of those guys.
Yeah, but
then he was like, oh, it's a shame or whatever.
Yeah,
like he was trying to get a little bit of
because he asked if
something.
she ever slept with any of them. She was like, no. And he said, that's a shame. But that question, what's the weirdest thing you've ever had to do, was actually asked of her
by a cop?
Isa. No.
Oh.
By Isa from several Hollywood executives in meetings once they learned that she had previously worked as a cam girl.
Interesting.
By several of them, which is, so she incorporated that. That's one of the things that I could really. That's why when you were looking at this film, like it just makes sense and it just works so well, is because it's from personal experience.
Well, it's authentic.
And it's very
authentic. And I think that's what, it's very easy. It would have been very easy to make this movie. And I know that it had gotten good reviews. So you were kind of going in with high expectations. I was trying to temper my expectations because it is very easy to make, it would have been very easy to make this movie and not have it feel authentic and not have it feel real and, you know, like somebody's actual experience. It could have felt very hokey and lame, but I appreciated that it was so authentic, and it really, you know, her experience came through in the script as you're watching it. So I think that was a huge, huge benefit, obviously having her on the team. And it's her fucking project, so
exactly
she would have to be on the team.
Exactly. So the movie sort of culminates in this showdown between...
Yeah, so we're getting into the spoilers.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert.
Now, guys.
Eventually, one day, we'll have something.
Yeah, we should put like an audio, like...
I know. I just haven't done it yet.
God damn, our editor's lazy. Kenny's like triggered.
Editor looks at the long list of downloads and things that he has to edit, and then, sure, the editor's lazy. Do you want to do this? Do you want to pay someone to do it?
Yeah.
Okay. We can't pay anyone to do it unless someone wants to go and bump up some coins on the Patreon. So,
oh my God.
Listen, I'm here to tell you right now. Go to that patreon.com/the Haunted Heart podcast, the Haunted Heart podcast.
Just the Haunted
Heart.
It's just the Haunted Heart. You know what? You'll find it.
Anyway, if you feel like my editing is shitty, then you can donate to our Patreon.
Or donate just in case.
Or donate
in case.
Because
you support him.
If you donate,
then
I could probably get a better editor.
We're really bad at being the vocal version of Cam Girls, I feel like.
Anyway, so bringing it back to center. Bringing it back to the cam. So it culminates in this showdown between Lola as her human self and Lola as this virtual sort of parasite, I guess you could say, that has sort of stolen her identity. She finds a way through another user who has been FaceTiming or camming, I guess, with the virtual Lola. So she sneaks in through that back door and sort of challenges her to a showdown to who is the better cam girl.
Right.
Which, when you say it, sounds very... the word I want to use is cheap.
Yeah.
But the way it was done was really...
really good. It
was
really,
good.
the film really raised our... It did a really good job of building to that climax, I think. And, when we're watching the two of them face off, it was very inventive, and it was very... You felt like you had a lot of stake in it. Like, there was a lot... the stakes were high, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that was a really cool moment. The only part of the film that I think suffered for me, the only critique that I could give it is that I don't think enough time was spent on explaining what this thing is that has taken her identity and taken over her channel. We get a very little bit of exposition. The user that used to watch her channel that was talking to the virtual Lola now, he was supposedly some kind of IT guy. He was super creepy. But he was some kind of IT guy, and he slightly explained that he doesn't know what it is, that it's some sort of thing that like tracks the most popular girls, and then it goes after those girls, and like because she was rising in popularity, like it went after her. And the number one girl, whose name is Baby, her cam name is Baby, and she had been trying to beat her. The whole film, she actually starts like looking her up and looking into her history, and we find out that she is dead.
Yeah.
That she died years ago.
Yeah.
But she's been camming, and Lola's like, she's number one on the charts, and
She's
Lola's
been
been
live
competing with her
broadcasting
and has been
competing.
live broadcasting for years, and Lola's been, her competition.
Yeah.
But she's been dead since 2014. So that was interesting. And I don't think that moment got the emphasis, the underscoring, right, that it deserved, because, I'm only, like, it was only after the film ended that I thought back to Baby, and I was like, oh shit, that girl was dead, meaning that girl was also a virtual parasite and not real, because her actual, like, the actual cam girl who was her is dead.
Yeah.
So it couldn't possibly be her, but that's this virtual parasite thing. So is it like some sort of paranormal thing that like takes over these girls' lives and like goes off on its own? Is it, the site taking is it some kind of like weird algorithm that they've built in to like assume the identities of the girls? I thought that would have been something really cool to dive into. And even if you don't have to explain it, I felt like it would have been cool to have that moment of like, oh, fuck, that girl's dead, but she's been competing with her this whole time, but actually it's the same, like, bug.
Yeah. Right.
And we didn't get that in the movie. It's only after.
Yes. So that's a question that it sort of leaves a little, that it leaves open. So in one of the articles that I read, actually, they sat down with both the director and the writer, and they were asked, what is this? Like, what is going on? And they were quoted as saying it's an algorithm.
Okay.
So it is an algorithm based on Lola 1. But they decided in the end that they didn't want to spell it out for the audience. They said, quote, we had versions of the script early on where she goes to find Lola, and there'd be servers and all of this stuff and that. But ultimately, they explained that it just felt distracting from the core of the story, because essentially it is a story about fractured identity.
Right. I can see that. I think it's fine.
And it's also from her point of view, and that from her point of view, she doesn't care what the thing is. She just wants her account back.
Right.
Like, she doesn't care what it is. She just wants to get back to where she was. And that's why at the end of the film, after she has defeated this algorithm, and deleted her old account to get rid of it, and she starts a new one again. That's why she starts back again, because essentially that is her ultimate goal, is to be the best.
Right. I think I'm fine with leaving it open-ended. I don't think that we needed a visit to a room with a bunch of servers and yada yada. But I do think that like that we missed a not missed completely, but I do think we could have gotten more of that like turning of your stomach feeling,
gotten a little more
with
juice
the
out of
reveal
it.
of baby being dead. It had its own moment, because that happens in the middle of a bunch of other like frantic things happening all at once, and so we don't really get that like boom feeling.
Yeah, I remember thinking at one point throughout the film that I was thinking it was going to go in the direction of she is the one who killed
Her
baby.
Yes. Yeah.
And this whole film is like some sort of psychological break to where she's
Right,
remembering
and
what's
she
going
doesn't realize-
on.
yeah.
And these were her actual old videos that she
Right.
made probably after she killed baby.
Yes.
But that's kind of the vibe that I was getting, but it took me in a different direction, which I always appreciate. I like when I can go into a film and be like, this is probably what's going to happen, and then they do something different.
Yeah, I mean, I was totally. Again, I'm fine with leaving it open. I just think we could have structured it a bit more so that we got those moments of like, because the concept of the fact that this number one person who she's been striving this whole movie to beat on the campsite is not real. Like that's not a real person.
Yeah,
like she's not real at all.
Yeah,
and so that creepy feeling of like, oh wow, like, well, how many other cam girls aren't real? And the fact that this girl is dead and this is coming to her from the grave, how or coming from the grave, how many other cam girls are actually dead, and like all the like weird I just think there was a lot,
like who's real and who's not.
Right, who's real, who's not. She's not even alive. How did she die? Was this algorithm responsible for doing away with her? Is it actively malevolent? Like what,
Yeah.
And I think there was all those questions that we could have like at least brought up, and then it's fine to leave them open-ended, but we didn't even bring them up really.
Yeah.
We just kind of glossed over that.
I think what you're saying, like, and I do agree a little bit, was that it sort of, it would have given the algorithm a little more, malevolence. I feel
it would have made it more scary,
and would have been like, oh shit, this is something that will actually fuck you up, and not just something that's just gonna take over your account. Because if they had went into, for me personally, if they had went into you strive to reach number one and you go through all of these things and do all this weird shit that people ask you to do, all to be at a number one top spot on a leaderboard site like or cam site, and to have that taken away from you, I think it's, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I think that it is missing the danger in it a little bit, kind of. Yeah. Or it's not as, because if you found out
it's not as scary.
Yeah. If you found out that this cam girl who was top of the line, didn't, if she committed suicide after the fact because all of her identity had been stolen, or if any of that, if just a little bit of that would have given it a little something extra that I think that it was missing. So I do agree with you on that. So
I think we could have had more of a horror moment there. But on the whole, I thought it was very good.
Overall, very good.
I enjoyed it.
Especially for someone's first feature film. Like,
amazing.
Absolutely. Set design
didn't feel like a favorite,
great.
like a first film.
Y'all know I love me some lighting. The lighting and the colors.
Bitch, her cam room. I would have that cam room. Absolutely.
Yeah, you can sort of see the descent. Like it goes from like pink and bubbly, and then it just gets into like these really cold shades of like blue and gray, and then there's like hints of orange when she feels like she's in danger. I love shit like that. So
not just hints. It was very blunt. It was not subtle. But that's what I liked about it. It was very, it puts you in mind of something like Suspiria.
Yeah, exactly. Which I love.
Yeah.
Love shit like that. I've always said that. Honey, throw a paint can on a fucking film, different colors of paint, and I will eat it up.
Saturation.
Color theory.
What we want is color saturation.
Yes. So it is that time, folks. What's it gonna be for you, Katie? Are we gonna chill? Or are we gonna kill? Or are we going to cam?
Ooh, girl. Well, that's another question. That's a different Patreon tier. I'm going to chill with it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was very fun. I thought it was very inventive. It did not fall into the pitfall that I thought it would of trivializing the experience of cam girls. Instead, I thought it was very authentic. It did miss that beat for me of taking it to the next level as far as horror was concerned. But it wasn't like a huge critique. That's really the only critique I have for the film.
Yeah.
And it was fun. It was fun. I would absolutely watch it again. How about you?
Of course, I'm going to chill with it and definitely recommend it. It currently holds a 94% on the tomato meter.
Okay. And we know that they're very reputable because the last film that we reviewed had 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
So, yes, it has an average rating of 7.1 out of 10, which I think is,
Yes.
I think that's fair. 7.1. Maybe I would give it an 8.
I would probably give it an 8. Yeah. I would probably give it an 8, and I thought it was very good.
Yeah. Smart, suspenseful.
And it's by
definitely
Blumhouse,
fun.
and we love them.
Yeah. So I think that it's great. I think you guys should go watch it and then let us know your thoughts on it. Send us an email over at thehauntedheartpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Or any of that stuff.
Yes. So like Kenny said, you can send us emails both for suggestions of films that we should review. The rules are they have to be on Netflix at the time that you send your email. And if they're still on Netflix at the time that we read your email, maybe we'll do them for an episode.
Yep.
If you have, I'm going to need an edit there because I just totally had a fucking moment. If you want to follow us on all of the socials, we're on Twitter at The Haunted Heart. We're on Instagram at The Haunted Heart Podcast. And on Facebook, you can search The Haunted Heart Podcast and join our closed Facebook group where we talk about horror films all day, day.
Yep.
And also all kinds of other shit. Some stuff is not even horror related.
Yep.
And it's the bomb. So definitely get on over there because there are a lot of people in that group who are a lot cooler than we are.
Yes, totally. So until next time, guys, y'all know what to do. Sit your asses down on that couch.
Watch some of that Netflix.
Yep.
And stay spooky.